Vince and my cousin Eldin joined me in Guernsey, and we just cannot get to Beauset Marina. Man, unbelievable weather into there. Anyway, from St. Peter's Marina or Victoria Marina, we head across to Alderney. Alderney's got a big history. Fascinating place to visit. Wow, here comes a ferry. Check that out. Just went past me. Apparently in the summer it's just crazy like that. Okie dokie, good morning. 4th of April. Man, this year is just moving on. Man, is it what? So, April 4 from Herm Island to, don't know whether it's Beauset or not yet, but 08:30 we're away. Got the fans on, anchor light off. Engines glow warming, got the pumps on. Oh, 6.5 metres underneath us at the moment. Away we go. And I'm going to go and pick up Vince. You all know Vince. And also going to pick up my cousin at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And we're going to go back on to Beauset Marina, which is just a magic marina. You've all seen that. So just a very quick hop across to St. Peter. I'll just put that in the chart. We'll turn the radio on, channel 12 for the traffic control over, or VTS over there, the traffic system. I'll talk to them when we're going. Here we go, and we're going into, there's Samson, and where's St. Peter? Yep, there's the anchorage there. So I'll go auto guidance. It's going to take me way out, but I sneak through this channel now like the ferries do, and he was a lot bigger than me. No, we don't want the autopilot. So I'll just follow my old route out. We'll just check on where the tide's at. Right, so we are going from, we're an incoming tide and a low of 2.2, a high of 7.7, so just a 5 and a bit metre tide at the moment, and we're currently at 4.2. So that's all looking good, and let's just see what the current is like in the middle of the channel out there. The current at the moment is down to 1.2 knots, and it is heading in a southerly direction. So, yep, all looks good. Time to check on where the boat is in relation to the drag circle. Okay, and we are a little bit downwind of it, so we'll just edge forward. There we go, let's start bringing in the anchor. Alright, it's all looking good. St. Peter and company, here I come. And I just finished my housework today, so everything's looking good. Boat's in ship-shape condition. Here we go. Okay, there's St. Peter. Condor ferry just went in ahead of us. The fort off to the entrance, and there is the anchorage that I'm going to go into for this morning. Alright, off to pick Vince up. Bit of an awkward anchorage this, because you got all the buoys over there, which have obviously got chains and lines off them down to the seafloor, and then just behind me there's about 5 power cables that head across out of Guernsey, I'm assuming to France or to the other islands, but yeah, it was just a little bit tricky getting the right spot. But look, it's a nice day, and we're only going to be here for a little while. I got 35 metres of chain out, and she's been sitting there for the last hour or so quite happily. So anyway, off over to the ramp there. We're about 3/4 full tide, so it'll come up a little bit and then start dropping off. So just got to make sure we're back in time so that we don't end up with the dinghy stranded, but should work out well. Off we go. Ah, look who's back!
Captain
Look who's back!
Hey, how are you?
Oh, good, mate. Oh, good.
To see you.
Yeah.
I come bearing gifts.
Oh!
I come bearing gifts.
Oh, from Bray, is it Prego? Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that, people down in there. Oh. Now, spoke to a local.
Right.
He said if we want a good local breakfast, bacon, eggs, you get a steak at 8 o'clock in the morning apparently. We go down here to Liberation Point, turn right, and there's the White Rock Cafe.
I'm in.
All right. This is Vince's idea of a healthy breakfast. Hey? Wow. Yeah, you know the only thing we didn't get? Chips.
Next time.
Vince, bacon and eggs in the tummy. Healthy breakfast, isn't it?
Captain Rammel.
Yep, what?
What is it you're doing?
I am replacing the shackle on the connections for the dinghy because we had a spring-loaded one before and it was just starting to pull apart, and I'm just a bit nervous that if that failed at the wrong time, we're in a serious situation. So we had to fit these over here, and Vince had this great idea of sticking this part in the freezer and putting these ones in hot water, and he reckoned they would then go over because they wouldn't quite fit. And they went over, and I was amazed until I found out that there's a little narrow bit at the top here that he slipped them on through. So I'm still not convinced he was right, but that's a debate that we'll have for decades. Anyway.
It's a debate we'll have in the pub.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we're just going to connect these up, and then we're all go again.
And how has the tender been since you last serviced it?
It's actually really good. I mean, I probably should be putting the cover over it. But it's actually quite a big job on your own putting the cover over, and then in really windy conditions you should tie it down. You know, so it just becomes a big job, and I just wonder if it's one of those things, because I use it so often, I just put up with it. I had to replace the navigation lights, which was a bit disappointing. The bulb went. Might have just been bad luck, to be fair, because they are LED. But anyway, North Star were fantastic. They just sent me 2 new lights, and the bilge pump in the back had failed. They sent me a new bilge pump as well.
And any comments regarding the oil change on the outboard?
Oh, it probably needs another one. I figure you just do that once a year, do you? I mean, I don't know how many hours it's done. It doesn't do a lot. So,
but it doesn't cut out anymore.
No. We've been there and covered that, and I've accepted my stupidity on that one. I think it's a magic tender. I really do. I think the North Star tenders are really good. As always, there's things, you know, like I don't think the lockers and that are that watertight, so you do get a little bit of seawater in there. So whenever you open them, they're wet. You know, it's a bit of a nuisance. But no, I'm very pleased with it. I think it's a great tender. Very, very happy with our purchase there. And the very exciting thing is that one of my followers, or our followers, after seeing me lose the tender, has designed specifically for me a tender tracker that does not require cell phone contact, and it'll get it within 10 miles, and he's going to develop it so that it sets an alarm off as soon as the tender gets more than about 20 metres away from the boat. So that's been shipped to Renee in London. So next time I see Renee, it comes down and it has a unit on the tender and a unit on the main boat. So you can always find both. I think that's pretty cool.
Will there be a subscription on that, do you think?
No, there's none.
Okay.
No, there's no subscription. It's a free app, and he's actually going to look at developing it and put it out there. It's called Tender Track. Yeah. So all power to him, I say, and very generously, he sent me one complimentary to try out for it. Anyway, job done. Here we go. Look, I think that is actually a lot better. What do you reckon?
Looks good.
That's going to be a lot stronger. I'll lock wire that later. And it's pretty obvious when that's coming undone. Yoo-hoo! Job done. Think we should go shopping?
Agreed. This is what you call a master at work.
The master, eh? Silly boy Mark. Under there. Over there. Back out there. Pull on that. There you go. And just for a little bit of added security, around there. Oh, my boat mates.
Cool. Boat mates?
Yeah, boat mates.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We thought, Eldin, a beer.
A beer? Already? Yeah. Oh wow, yeah.
We're going to the yacht club. Come on. Let's go. So this is the planned roast chicken on the boat tonight. We got a bit waylaid.
And where are we, Mark? Where are we?
GYC.
Guernsey
Yacht Club. We got a bit waylaid at the yacht club because we had to see if we won any meat in the raffle, and we didn't. And 3 beers later, we decided that it was probably too late to go home and cook.
Oh la la! You okay?
Oh, perfecto. Thank you.
Where are you from? Where are we from?
Oh,
Don't tell me. Okay.
New Zealand.
Oh, mama.
London. Worcester.
Where?
Worcester.
Oh, Worcester. Is it good?
And you? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Portugal, man.
Portugal.
So
cool. Oh, we're having chicken peri peri tomorrow. Mark, what's wrong? What's wrong? Is that water in the dinghy?
No. Come fast. Come along and fill the dinghy up with water.
You always wash the dinghy this way. What's that big phone on?
Oh, good morning. It is the 5th of April. We're here in Havelet Bay under the Citadel there, and we're about to head up to Beauset Marina. Anyway, away we go. Alright, okay, so we've decided we're not going to go to Beauset Marina. Their advice is it's a bit rough down there, which is also the advice we got from Guernsey VTS. So we're just coming up a beam, the entrance to the Guernsey port, and we're going to head in there and go into St. Peter Marina. Pretty rough out here today, that's for sure, and we are approaching high tide, just half an hour off high tide now. Metres on the left here, or 2.8, and we're 1.6. Now take the stabilisers off because we can't use the stabilisers in reverse. Got the bow thruster on. And we come into idle. So we're going to go on over there, buddy. Yeah. So I'll just start meandering in there, eh?
Yeah.
guys still clean the boat while it's here, eh?
Yeah, no problem.
For a price, yeah, they'll do it.
Oh, fantastic, mate.
Mark, if we pop that one on here, and put another one midships,
there's the concrete sill under there that we come across. So when we came in, there was 3 metres above that. And as obviously that water flows out, it gets smoother and smoother in the marina. Even though we've still got that fresh easterly wind coming through and swell that's trying to force itself in. But so now Awanui starts to settle down on the side of the dock. Very pleasant. Right, the tide has just turned, so here it comes, starting to fill the marina back up again, and it's that sloppy easterly, and you get, here's a reasonable one coming, look, about every 7th swell is a little bit bigger than the rest. There you go, look at that. Now back to Slopsville. We'll start rocking around again as the sun sets. Right, there's the tide starting to come in, so today we're off to Beauset, but you can see it there, there's the concrete plinth that's underneath, all that beautiful fresh water coming in. Very nice people on the marina here, and back on the boat here, we're off the aft of the boat, you just get a lovely view of it. There you go, there's the sun going off it. Anyway, Beauset Marina, it's about 4 miles down the track, and you've been in there once before, but you'll love that entranceway again, that's for sure. So a couple of hours from now we'll be gone. Tuesday, 8th of April. Yesterday we tried to get to Beauset. Second time we've sort of looked at going there, just too rough going into that marina, and we're starting to run out of time for getting across to England. So today we are heading off to the island of Alderney. So we're giving up on Beauset. Here's Guernsey, we're in St Peter's Marina here, where we've been since Friday basically. And there is the island of Alderney. 22 miles away, steeped in history. Should be a really neat place to visit. There's a large harbour there, we'll show you going in there obviously. This massive breakwater there, built by the Germans during the Second World War. See all the waves and that around here, lots of rips, and rips through between the two islands here. It's called the Raceway. All the locals talk about it. So basically here's our current position here, as in current water flow, and we want to be there at 10:30. So in order to get out of this marina, we have to leave by about 6:15 this morning, so we'll just do a timed arrival to that current position, so we hit it at slack current, and then we should get a good run through, or a slight tailwind. Anyway, there you go, over there, 22 nautical miles, just starting to get light out there a little bit. So we'll have a cup of tea, get underway, and the weather's looking about as good as it's going to get. So just half-metre swells and winds 7 to 10 knots. Should be a fun day. come along for the ride. There's Alderney Island. Very, very rocky around the island. A bit breezy out there, so I'll bring you back inside, but you can see our speed. We're right down to 3 and a bit knots, and if we touch our timed arrival, we go timed arrival up here. We wanted to arrive there, remember, at 10:30, so it says go between 2.7 and 3.6 knots. So that makes sense, that's working well. And if we go to the tide prediction table, you can see us in here. We've just tipped off the edge there, and this is very quickly dropping. So if we just go back a little bit, back at 9:30, so just 35 minutes ago, we had 5.1 knots, and it was coming straight against us, which explains the speed. And then you move it forward to basically the current time, and it's right down to 1.5 knots. In another 15 minutes it'll be 0, but look what happens then. A couple more moves on, 11:15, 1 hour later it's 7.1 knots heading towards the south. So we'd be into a 7 knot current 1 hour after we get to the slack current out here in 15 minutes. So you can't muck around. When we get to slack, basically we want to go to get to St Anne's Harbour, which is up here. That's St Anne's Harbour. There's our timed point, and we have a total distance to go of 3.8 miles. So it's all achievable, but you've just got to be up with what's going on around you. And you probably can't pick it up, but you can see swirly water out here, definitely. Absolutely swirly water. You would not want to be in here in 7.5 knot current, that's for sure. Alderney, here we come. Right, we're coming into Bray Harbour on Alderney. So we've got a bit of a current pushing us in now. We'll just come back on the power a little bit. Still a northeasterly wind blowing, which is coming from that direction across us, and it looks like out to the eastern side there, it looks really smooth over there. Look, see where those buoys are? Yeah. It actually looks really good, doesn't it? Bray Port, Awanui NZ entering the harbour.
Nui, Port Control, yeah, to receive us here. So if you head over towards the eastern side of the bay, you'll see 2 big orange can moorings in the middle. If you just anchor to the east side of that before you get to the other yellows.
Okay, that sounds great, thanks. And we come over in the tender. Is there somewhere we can tie up to go into town?
Nui, Port Control, it might be a case of bringing the tender up on the slipway, which is just below our office. So yeah, they're free to just come ashore whenever you're ready.
copy that, thank you. Bray Port, Awanui NZ.
Louis, Port Control, go ahead.
Are we able to take one of those yellow buoys and tie off to that in there? It just looks a lot calmer than the slop out here.
Louis, Port Control. What's the gross tonnage of the vessel, please?
34.
Port Control. You are slightly heavy for that. You're more than welcome to pick up the big orange can mooring in the middle, if you can see that one.
Oh yeah, I can see that there, and I see just beyond it it's quite nice and calm. Are we not allowed inside the yellow buoys? Because we're basically at low tide at the moment, aren't we? See, like
Just want to go and anchor in that little area just beside the yellow buoys there?
Yeah, possibly even just ever so slightly west of them, but I was just going to go for a putt around, and as long as we've got 2 metres of depth below our keel, I'd be happy to anchor in there because it's low tide at the moment.
On it, Louise, Port Control. Yeah, if you stand by, I'll get the Pioneer to come over to you and just assist in the right area. See you there, Port Control. Yeah, go ahead. Not sure if you got 2 minutes just to nip over to see if they're able to anchor on the inside there. I think it's fine. Yeah, he looks like he's over the reef there, but like I said, it's low water. If he's happy to go there, no problem from us, as long as we got swinging room on the yellow moorings. Port Control, yeah, Roger, thanks for that. Luke, on Louise, did you copy?
Yeah, copy that. Okay, sorry Vince, just before we go and do anything, can we just, so we're absolutely clear, first question is whose idea was this?
Well, it was a joint.
No, I don't think so.
Joint initiative. Okay, it was my
It
idea.
was your idea. Okay, so what is the idea, Vince?
Well, I'm thinking if we use this fine piece of twine,
Yeah, twine,
and we tie to that buoy over there, so we pull the aft round, that'll stop the rolling.
Right, so we're going to put one end of the line through there and bring it back to the boat, yes?
Correct. So,
And tie it on, so we've got a double line, we can release easy.
correct.
And then the idea is with the 20 horsepower 3 metre tender, we're going to pull 34 tonne of boat around
No,
against the swell.
that'll be easy.
Okay, sorry, that'll be
Easy.
easy. Okay, so what are we doing here? It looks like we've got a lot of line,
We're going to float it off because it's floating line,
right?
and then we're just going to take it over with the tender.
All right, so what would you like me to do?
Turn the camera off.
No, what do you want me to do?
I'd like you to get in the tender, and we'll
Piss off.
and we'll pass you the line.
And right, that's simple?
Yeah.
Excellent, okay, so right, that's simple. Good. Okay, so here I'm going down here, so please remember Vince said this is going to be simple. So I'm just heading down here under instruction. We have the line coming down off the end, which we're going to put through the hawser. So that means we've got one end tied off. I think that's a good idea. I'm with Vince at this stage. Here's the line. Goes around here. Right. Then we have that out there. More there than you think, actually. Okay. All right, I'll get the tender in. All right. Okay, what would you like me to do now?
Just bear with us when we feed this floating line down.
Just remember I've got the motor ticking over here.
Okay. Eldin? Yeah, do you want more line? No, could you pass us the other end, please?
I'd just like to say at this point, Vince, it's still looking remarkably easy. All right, so I'm going to put that there. And then I'll just tie it round that, eh?
Yep.
Okay, I'll just take the camera off for a second. Perhaps you could throw it to me, not at me.
Absolutely, Captain.
Thank you. Okay, so we can sort that out when the... Yeah, you see, this is where it gets interesting. See? I'm going to. Right, first crisis averted. Alright, so I've been instructed to go on a big loop around here. It's all working well so far, Vince. Here we've got the line coming around the back off Awanui NZ. Right, so we're going over to these boys. Vince, I think the orange boy. Right, this absolutely pains me currently, but it seems to be working. Just got a little knot, which I'm going to have to undo to avert a tightening crisis. Okay, right, we've got it through the loop. Here it is over my shoulder, and we're now heading back to the boat. What do you think so far, Vince?
Looking good.
So I'll just take the engine off once I float in and hand you the rope, eh? I'll try not. I think I'm letting the team down at the moment. Here we go, see? Right, it's coming around nicely here. Thing is, Vince, I always thought this would work.
That was a brilliant idea, Mark.
I genuinely thought this would work right from the beginning, Vince. So are we declaring that a success?
Too early to say.
Okay.
Too early to say.
Hopeful?
Very hopeful.
Okay, that looks good. Much as I hate to admit it, I think it's worked. Really pisses me off. Really pisses me off. Mission successful?
Absolutely. Perfect.
Perfect. It's going to be interesting if we come back, we find the bow pulled under the bloody water because the anchor won't let it come up. I doubt it. Alright, into Bray Harbour. I'm not sure why it's Bray Harbour, because this is St Anne, but I guess you can have a harbour with a different name to the town, but
Probably a plaque.
and apparently we can put the tender on the concrete ramp, slipway, so I'm just not quite sure what they mean about that. We'll have to talk to the harbour authority as we go in.
Hey Mark, you need to be careful when there's an incoming tide. When you tie your tender onto a causeway.
Right.
Apparently sometimes the waves can bring it up the causeway.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, you gotta be
Okay.
careful of that.
Right. Fingers crossed that's not much high tide here today. Here we go, welcome to Alderney, and there is Awanui NZ, we hope, safely moored. That's pretty sad, a commemoration here for a submarine that sank in 1951. I'll find out about it for you. HMS, Her Majesty's Submarine, Bray. So, yeah, let's find out what the heck happened, eh? That is tragic. 75 lost their lives. Right, where we go?
Let's go to the museum.
Let's go to the museum. Ha ha! The Alderney Museum. Hello!
Oh, it's very nice to see you. You're my very first visitors
Today,
today and this week.
Oh wow.
first visitors this week.
Cool.
Is it Monday? No.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
But we started on a Saturday.
Wow, so since Saturday we're the first.
We feel so special.
We do. I've read online very good things about this museum. And they said it's a must go to. So,
Yeah.
which way do we go around?
Well, we always suggest you go through the arch as everything else.
Okay, and we pay on the way in or the way out?
On the way in.
On the way in.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And we've got a special tiny room at the very end here, which is all about the evacuation and the return.
From here, yes, yes. Amazing, amazing. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, you're going to fix the young lady up?
Could we have 3 adults, please?
£5 each.
2 adults and 1 child, maybe.
Right, we'll turn the camera off. Yeah, I'm an old age pensioner, thank you very much. It's got a very sleepy, slowing down feel. Apparently all the young people are heading to England. So you got mainly older people left. The airline operator that comes out here doesn't really want to do it, even though it's subsidised. They need new aeroplanes, the runway needs work. The boat often can't come because of the weather. Apparently tourism's very much slowing down. I mean, it's quiet, it's sleepy. You could walk around it in probably 2 or 3 days. You could seriously explore this whole island. And if you bought some of the books they've got here and did a bit of reading about it, I think it'd be quite fascinating. And you absolutely go away feeling you've got a sense of it. But kind of impression you get is it's been there, done that, and it's going backwards.
Yeah.
A lot of history. I mean, the island was basically evacuated during the Second World War. They got a day's notice to pack a bag, one bag, and leave. And then 10 days later the Germans occupied it, and Alderney's had a huge number of fortifications because it really was at the point of any perceived attack that might come. And then at the end of the war the locals wanted to come back, of course. A lot of the Germans stayed on and they were used to rebuild homes, and apparently after the war made a lot of friends with the locals. But the locals came back, of course their houses have been pillaged and plundered. A lot of them were very badly damaged because it was a very cold winter in 1944, and so a lot of the timber and that had been ripped out of houses and used as firewood. But anyway, the museum was really interesting. But we're going to go over here to this fortress, which is a colossal size. I guess was a massive barracks. There were 4,000 POWs here from Eastern Europe, so there must have been a good number of Germans on the island to manage them, to manage the armaments, to manage the building. Yeah. Very sleepy, quiet place. Big storerooms and that in there. Oh yeah guys, you can go in over here and carry on. So effectively just a whole series of tunnels. I mean, if you tried to take this place to actually, they can defend it on their way back towards the main buildings up the top. Yep. Try and land on that beach, eh?
Yeah.
And then you got gun emplacements at the other. You look out there. You try and land on that beach. Be all over, wouldn't it?
Not going to happen, is it? You'll just be straight from machine gun.
Well, and look at the far end. There's another one there, so you get caught in crossfire.
Yeah.
So this was originally started construction in 1840, in Victorian times. And then obviously modified during the Second World War. I mean, amazingly easy to defend. You know, if you make your way back up here, if you were getting forced away, there's a whole lot of points you can stop and defend yourself, aren't there? It'd be pretty hard to attack it. flashlights mounted here. So this is an absolute mix of Victorian built batteries, and then once the Germans came here they found ways to connect all the batteries with tunnels, so you see a lot more concrete being used and a means of being able to move between the different gun emplacements. There's 3 gun emplacements there, all looking out towards the UK, from whence an invasion would be mounted. Three floors high, just falling basically to wreck and ruin. This will be gone.
See the craftsmanship of the woodwork.
Oh,
Yeah. Another 200 years, this will be back to nature.
yeah. There's all internal doors in there as well. Staircases, beautiful timber handrails. Look at that door. The workmanship in that. I mean, when they built these places, as far as they were concerned, they were here for good. You know.
Yeah.
So there was no roof over this. All the living accommodation that was right around the side, and this must have been what, a parade ground or something. Ducks, geese, roosters, chickens, turkey. And these 2 guys have somehow gotten out. Come on, in here. Come on. In here. Go there. There. Yeah, that's
Can't get through there. Underneath, under that gap, maybe.
Come on.
Under that. Yay!
Where's the other one gone? Alright, so here is the customs form with all the details about us leaving Guernsey. Ah, here we go. And there is the tender. Exactly where she should be. We weren't worried. Well, back home after a good day out. There's Awanui way over there. All the mooring buoys between here and her. A couple of yachts have come in. Don't know where that one's going. It came in, now it's going out. But he's going to drop the anchor. And you got a guy on the front. Anyway, back home for the night. Tomorrow, England. Good day, guys.
Fantastic. Absolutely.
Like your bangers and mash, Vince?
Bangers and mash, rocks.
Yeah, it's good, eh?
Bangers and mash.
Big day, we're tired.